Hello guys, welcome to this new session. In this session we will do something unusual. We will enhance our efficiency of our language. As you know, this is the memory layout. We see here text segment, initialize data, heap, stack, and so on. So what I'm interested in is the memory heap, dynamic memory, because our end language it uses that to allocate objects, for example our string object. So the problem with our program end interpreter is it allocates as needed the string object in the memory heap, but it does not free that object. So you can imagine if the program is big enough and we allocate more and more string, then it will explode and we will have the issue of memory leakage. So let's jump to the code and to reach that case. So first of all, let's jump to our object .c.h, and then we will update this structure object, so it will be pointing to the next object allocated. It's like a linked list. So we will go to our vm.h. Inside the VM we will track every object allocated on the heap. To do so we will do objects. So we will implement a function that will free all these objects tracked by the VM. Just to include objects.h. So let's go to object.c. In the function allocate object, in this function all objects will be allocated. So to track this object we will do object, its next is VM object, and VM object will point to object. So by doing that our VM will track all allocated objects. So we need to include vm.h, and also we need to access to the global variable VM. So to do so we will do extern VM to use that variable. So let's go and implement the function that free all these objects. Let's go to memory.h. We will declare here a function called free objects, and then we will add a macro that free an object. So let's go to vmmemory.c and implement that function. To do so we will do void free objects, and we will initialize a pointer to object. It's vm.object. To use that to access VM objects we will include vm.h, and then we will use the extern variable VM. So next we will loop over every object. So if the object is null, we will store that object temporarily because we will do a free later. So I don't want to lose the next object, so I do object next, then I will free the object, and then I increment that to the next one, will be on the next. So let's implement that free object function. Free object, and let's do a switch case on object type. So in case of a object string, what we will do is to initialize a variable called object string from the object passed as an argument. We'll cast that, then we will free the array of chars. What we'll do is object string chars. No, we pass the type is char, then object string chars, then we will free our object string. And then we will do a break. So we've accomplished that. So we go to vm.c to initialize vm.object to be null, and then when the machine it holds, we will free the chunks, and then we will free all objects. So by doing that, we will avoid the memory leak. So let's rebuild our project. So we have printf in vim.object.c will include a printf. So let's rebuild the project. So all is good. We will do a print hello. So everything is good, and behind the scene, we've the VM frees all objects allocated in the heap. So we've accomplished something good, something that enhances the performance and efficiency of our end interpreter, is by freeing unreachable objects in our heap. So by doing that, we will avoid the memory leakage. So see you guys in another video.